Hello, my divinities. Welcome, welcome. So I'm sure by now you've noticed that I'm changing the name slowly back to ArtesanaDivina everywhere on all platforms. Don't be shocked. I just realized that I had changed it to Solora because it's like I needed everything to remind me that this was my new identity. I was stepping into a whole new timeline. But I feel like I'm pretty comfortable now. And ArtesanaDivina is my brand. So I'm going back. Anywho, I'm making up for Tuesdays because Tuesday I did not upload since I was not feeling too great. So we're going to make up for it. And I have a spread in mind that I haven't done in a while. So let's just get straight into it. We start off with the universe, which is like the world card in this deck. Okay. So huge cycle closing out. Ooh, Heart of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands. This could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Somebody just really stepping into confidence, stepping into... This is also the witchy energy. Out of all the queens, the Queen of Wands is the one that has sorceress energy, even though here it has the constellation of Aries. But to me, it's all three fire signs, or at least the potential for all three fire signs. Five of Wands. So although a cycle is closing, there are still battles this Queen of Wands is going to have to face. Especially if they just stepped into the place of assertiveness. Because I've seen that in the readings lately. It could be that there's going to be people pushing back. People saying, I don't like this new you, Spirit of Wands. Well, to be fair, the ones pushing back with the Spirit of Wands, this is the King of Wands. So it could be that this King of Wands, once upon a time, even though he's upright, we'll clarify in a minute, but this is what I'm feeling so far, because there's battles, right? It could be that this King of Wands, once upon a time, benefited from this Queen not having boundaries. Ooh, Heart of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords, yes. I very much think that this Queen is stepping into a new era, a new place where they're not okay, letting people walk over them. They're not okay saying, I don't want that. I don't like that. And somehow this King of Wands doesn't seem to like it. They're not comfortable with it. And it is boundaries because we have the Five of Wands with the 6 and the 7. But the Queen is at the 6 of Wands. So she's just like, look, I know. Oh, yes, fire energy. She's just in this place where she's like, look, I know you don't like it, but I do. So if you don't like me having boundaries, then you're just going to have to find a different person. The Elk. Or we could change the story altogether with the Elk showing up. Okay. I stand corrected. This could go, I feel like we have two different stories playing out simultaneously. So the original story stands. I was going to change it. And I'm like, no, it still stands because we got the octopus here. And the octopus speaks about codependency. So we have a king. They're not the same people, FYI. For those of you who say, oh, maybe it's the story, like both stories is for the same person. No, this is not, because these are two like very contrasting stories. On one hand, this is a couple where the queen is stepping into a place of really feeling like a queen, really feeling like I will be very clear when I say no. Very feminine energy, but very balanced with the masculine. Where before, maybe they were in a state of aggression. They were in a state of, not aggression. They might have viewed boundaries as aggression. They might have viewed boundaries as being mean to people. Now they're realizing that was codependency. I used to fight back because I was afraid of being abandoned by my king. However, if this is the story we're following, we have the elk and the deer, which is like the emperor and the empress in the oracle deck. I feel like they're reconnecting. It is going to take some time for them to readjust to each other, but this king is still a match to the queen. So that's just it's like the dynamics between the relationship is going to change, but they are still supportive of the change. They might not like it initially because they're used to having full control, but I think that they will shift with the times. Now, the second storyline, we have a Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, who again is stepping into an era of empowerment, full empowerment. She is showing up with Empress energy, but again, it's this place of like, I am not going to shrink myself. I'm not going to sit here overthinking, worried about whether someone likes me or not. I know my value. And this is going to push her into the path of someone who is her equal. Someone who does support these changes in her. Someone who actually likes a strong vocal person, not someone who's like looking for a victim, looking for somebody who's shrinking themselves. Okay, we've got the Moon, Seven of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, see? Six of Wands. Well, we actually got five, but we're going to leave this for 10 of Wands. The Devil. Oof. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, hold on, let me get my little... Where's my fan? Whoo, child. I turned the fan off so that I could do the sage. I mean, not the sage, the Palo Santo. And it's hot. Okay, so this is, you know what's interesting about this dynamic when we're looking at the first storyline is that it could be that for a long time the Queen didn't see the codependency. The Queen didn't see how toxic it was. Oh, and look at what's underneath the Fire Ant. But what she did know is that she was building a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of feeling abused or used. Now, we did get the Ten of Wands in this mix, so we're going to use it here because I highly think that a lot of the times, especially men, and I'm not saying all men, don't start with me, don't start. But the majority, unfortunately, the majority, because that's how they've been trained, they've been indoctrinated, that the woman should want to be like submissive. The woman should want to be the, you know, I tell you what to do and you go do it. So with the Moon here, both people were actually very unclear about maybe why their marriage was failing, or their it doesn't have to be a marriage, it could be a relationship. They just didn't know why. We've spent so much time together. We've done everything we can. You know, maybe this person is saying, I proposed to her, or, you know, I pay the bills, or whatever they think being masculine is. Whatever they think being a traditional emperor energy is. But things are shifting because now the feminine's like, I'm tired of carrying a lot of the emotional burden. I'm tired of carrying a lot of the burdens. It's toxic. Yeah, look. The feminine was most likely stepping into a place of depression. Feeling really anxious, feeling really like I can't function this way anymore. Things had to shift, and we have two cards here of major shifts. What used to be unclear, what used to be hazy, now the clarity is coming up and they're realizing, oh, this is toxic. This is toxic. But because there is still love between these two, it's kind of like, it's just increasing the appreciation, the admiration that they feel for each other. It's not damaging the connection. It's improving it. Because this is how you know, just because a connection is toxic doesn't mean it can't work. Now, I'm not talking about someone who's been ghosting you, disappearing, because this is Seven of Pentacles, Emperor, King, and Queen of Wands. This is not two people who are separate. There's two people who are together. So if you're dealing with someone who disappears, this is not your story. Unless you want to make it, then don't start with me later on when it doesn't work. This is different. These are people who have strong roots, strong, like a long time be together. And because they genuinely love each other, the Queen is wanting to work on it. And the King is, although it's a challenge, they're rising to the challenge. Now, second storyline. I think they're slightly different in the sense that, or not slightly, very different. This Queen of Wands, who is now opening themselves up to, partnership, to building with someone, I will say that they're a little lost because we do have the Moon card. I think at the very beginning, it's going to be a little difficult for them to be like, well, I need to make sure I can tell who is worth investing into. Who is my match? Because here's the thing, King of Wands, there's going to be someone who's very attractive, very, very attractive. Whoever the King of Wands is, whatever it is he does, wherever he's at, he's a leader. He catches eyes, heads turn. Now, the same thing happens for her, but she has already recognized that not everybody that creates head-turning energy is worth investing into. So again, we had already seen the Six of Wands and the Seven. Here we see a Six of Wands again. She is very sure of her value. She's very sure that even if she gets caught in a bad situation, she is not going to be like before. With the Moon card before, she would take on all these burdens. She would possibly not express how she felt. She would possibly, or if she did and it created an argument, she would just shut down. Now she's like, no, see, now, even if I can't, I couldn't initially tell if this person had nefarious intentions, I'm also sure that I won't stay because I know my value. Even if I care for someone, even if I'm really attracted to them, if there's a lot of conflict, if they start, doing things that are deceptive, hiding things, no, I already know. Even if it hurts, I already know I can move forward because I'm not dealing with this again. I am not putting myself in a place where I'm creating this toxic swamp of a relationship. Not anymore. And that's good. That's excellent. Let's see. Oh, I love that. I have the Lamb. Oh, okay. And the Camel. See, this is perfection. Perfection. Okay. I love this. It's not perfect, but I feel like it is. Remember, perfection is just like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. I love this because the Empress, I'm going to call her the Empress. The Empress has stepped into a place of, I know what I carry within. It's the pearl, right? Yeah. They're growing. They know their potential. They know what they carry within. So they're not really concerned anymore about whether someone else can immediately see their value or not. They don't need the validation from someone else. Now, this is a balance. This is like the Temperance card in tarot. It requires balance because on one hand, you want people to be able to see your value because that means that they'll treat you well, right? They're gonna take care of you because they know your value. On the other hand, you want to be careful to not need for them to see your value. How to put this? Okay. Let's use the example of a business, right? I'll use my own business as an example. I'm a tarot reader. There are thousands of tarot readers out there, if not millions. I love people who can see my value and understand my skill set, my particular skill set. I love the people who like my style of reading and who aren't switcheroos, who constantly go and come back and go and come back because they can't stand me, but they like my style of reading, and they leave because they can't stand me, but then I really get annoyed with that, but I can't block people from purchasing memberships, unfortunately. So I prefer people who can see my value. Does that mean that I need them to see my value before I know my value? No. Maybe once upon a time, because I'm not saying I was always here. But I am now not in the place where I need you guys to see my value for me to know that I have value. The value you see is because I see value within myself. So they actually go hand in hand, but not the way people think. People think it's the other way around. People think when other people see my value, then I'll know I have value. And it's the opposite. When we know we have value, other people will see the value. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's where this Empress is at. This Empress is at where, like, it's not like she has to go around shouting, I have a pearl, and you can't get it. No, this is stupid. That's like, I see people like that every day. They will go around announcing, I'm a great person. So I don't know, whoever's going to end up in a relationship, like, you don't have to announce it. It's not, if you have to announce it, I don't know, it's kind of dubious. Like, really? Okay. This Empress is not in the place where she's going around announcing it. In fact, she's a little protective of her little pearl. But because she holds herself as somebody who is full of value, she will come across people who also see her value. Because we co-create our reality with the universe. And when you put yourself in a place of value, other people easily see it. Now, I'm not going to say everybody, but the majority. Okay, there will still be a few idiots here and there. That just means they're blind. Now, the reason that I love this combination that showed up is because the Lamb is about the submissive, soft, but it's submission not to a person. It's submission to divinity. The Lamb is somebody who has the ability to be humble. And ironically, for those of you who know fire signs, the Lamb is Aries. Because Aries, as much as they're a warrior, they are also the baby lamb. It turns into a ram with time. But they have this within them. So every fire sign is similar. You know, Leos have a little cub. Sagittarius have a tiny little centaur. It doesn't really matter. We all have this innocent part of us still existing within us. The humble part, the part that wants instruction, the part that wants guidance. And the feminine is in that energy when it comes to divinity, when it comes to their purpose, when it comes to their intuition. They don't sit there arguing with it. They don't sit there bickering with it. This is how you'll know if this story is for you, because this feminine is in a state of flow when it comes to their connection with divinity. Now, Panther energy. This is why we have the dichotomy. Yes, the feminine is in the energy of submission to divinity, listening to divinity, obedience to divinity. But with the Panther, that doesn't mean she's a weak bitch, okay? She is very much in the energy of, if I need to, I will fight. If I need to protect myself, you're going to see my teeth and my claws. Like, I will not go down without swinging. So again, it's that balance, because that's also why we have the masculine present. So it doesn't really matter which feminine we're talking about and which storyline, it fits both, because both of them are stepping into that energy. They're just on different paths. One already has a partnership, somebody who they have a long-term relationship, someone who they love and they are loved by this person. And although it's challenging, they are working together because they're like, I want to be soft with you. I want to show you submission when it's appropriate, but also don't walk over me. Don't take advantage. Don't put me in a place of always doing a lot of the heavy lifting, because I will show you my claws. And the camel is the balance of the two, because this is fire. This is a fire element card, although the camel carries water and is a very grounded animal. But the reason it's fire is because the camel is in the desert, and the desert can be really, really hot. And to temper that heat, the camel carries huge quantities of water within. And the water is what is like they have their internal air conditioning. The water is what cools them down. So this feminine has learned when to allow the heat to rise and when to cool down, which is a great, great place of balance, because then both of these energies are balanced. Neither one is stronger than the other. Now, we already had the 10 of wands come up. Right when I said balance, we get the temperance, which is this. I'm swear to God. Then the 2 of swords. Oh. With the Spirit of Cups. Interesting. Overall energy, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, the Magician. So, you know what? I stand corrected. There is the possibility that both storylines are the same person. It's just the energy is so vastly different, because this is somebody that this queen has been dealing with for a long time. But there's somebody they decided to walk away from. So it could be that this is the person they thought was their emperor. They thought was their match. But they're really not. There was a lot that they couldn't see. And they kept trying to work it out. That's why the octopus came out. It's because they were codependent on that relationship. So they're walking away. And depending, because some have done it already, time ago. Some queens have already walked away, a long time ago. Others are just doing it now, depending on the timeline, right? So for those of you who have walked away a long time ago and are now stepping into your power, are now stepping into a much healthier place, you're mastering it, right? It took you time. It took you time to stop grieving the loss. It took you time to stop, being in this place of, oh, should I have stayed? Should I have tried harder? Should I have this? Should I have that? You are finally stepping away from that. You mastered it and you realize, no. See, I walked away because that's what needed to happen. For me to step into who I truly am, for me to step into my true identity. I'm grateful for the time I had with that person. I'm grateful for the memories I had with that person, especially if y'all had children together. Like, okay, I'm grateful for those blessings that came from it. But that wasn't my person. Because now, remember I told you once, guys, that there's different levels of magician? Like, if somebody shows up with all 4 pages, they are a magician, but they are page level magician. This queen has stepped into queen level magician. Because she's already shown up as fire, swords. This tells us that she actually has all 4 elements. So she is an empress / sorceress / whatever else she is. And she's no longer in the place where she's allowing people to burden her. That's not her MO. That's not her style anymore. Now she knows better. With the Justice card, she's very clear about, whoa. This is yours and this is mine. This is my responsibility and this is your responsibility. You mentioned this. Let's see the actions that come up with it. It's like it's not, I will say some people take it like, oh, now you're at tit for tat. No, because that's not what it's about. And she knows this. With the 2 of Swords, it's not about tit for tat. It's about balance. It's about, why would I invest in someone who doesn't invest in me? And it doesn't matter whether it's relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's business. It's all the same. This is why on a Saturday, here I am with you guys doing a collective, because you invest in me. And I want to show you that I invest in you too. I take time out of my, day because I missed Tuesday. I'm like, I got to make it up for you guys. Or was it Wednesday? I missed one of the days. Because I appreciate that you invest in me too. So the same thing has to happen with friendships. The same thing has to happen with family. The same thing has to happen, like people. And hold on, I just have to turn the fan on. It is so freaking hot. I'm like sweating. Sorry, but it's Texas. It's not, it's autumn, but it's not like no, Texas autumn is weird. Anyways, like one thing I've noticed, people will be quick to say when it comes to parents, right? You have to respect them because they're your parents. And those people have been indoctrinated with that belief. What they forget, excuse me, what they're actually saying is, I am your authority. Because there's different types of respect. There's respect that comes with a title, that comes with authority, but it doesn't come with love. That's like the respect that police officers expect. It's the respect that you're supposed to show in a courthouse. It's the respect of going to like the White House. It comes with authority, right? You have to show up a certain way or you could get in trouble. But that's not a love-oriented type of respect. The other respect is, I grew to know this person. They're an amazing human being, and I allow them to have influence over me because I think they are a spectacular human. And parents want to take both of those and mix them. Same thing with grandparents. They want to take both of those and mix them. That's not how it works. The first one, you can enforce that one. You can say, well, I'm your parent and I'm going to beat the shit out of you until you respect me. That's not respect. That's authority. That's saying I have authority over you. You have no choice but to listen to me. But that's not respect. That's fear. True respect comes from admiration and love and time invested. So this is a feminine who's learning the difference between those things. And not just respect, like a lot of multiple things like communication, loyalty. Like people are so proud nowadays that they're loyal. And then you get to know them, you're like, you're about as loyal as, P. Diddy. Let's be real. Loyal my ass. But even if they were loyal, that's really nothing to be on this high about. Loyalty should be a given. It should be rare. People who don't know how to show loyalty should be rare. And if you think that you're big shit because you're loyal, it just means that you have been around a lot of people who are not. So you think that you're special. Kind of like, I don't know. It's just it's just funny energy to me. So anywho, we're going to stop part 2 here. If you are oh my God, I cannot talk now. If you are on the $1 tier on Patreon, then I will see you there for part 2. Okay, bye-bye.